All right, welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the world of Tesla in 2025. But, we're not just going to skim the surface here. You've given us some fantastic sources, articles, posts from X, formerly Twitter, of course. It looks like we're going deep on some hidden secrets that might be driving Tesla's success.
Yeah, it seems like March 5th, 2025 was a big day for Tesla enthusiasts. Definitely, a lot of buzz around their recent innovations and, of course, their stock performance.
Right, and we all know that Tesla is leading the EV charge. Full self-driving is getting closer and closer, and then there's that Optimus robot that everyone's talking about. But what's really got my attention are these Easter egg features that are hidden in their cars. I mean, how cool is that? This Hot Cars article from January really breaks down some of the details, and I have to say Tesla's really playing the long game with these little surprises.
It's a clever strategy, actually. These features, like the Santa mode and biometric authentication, they go beyond the usual bells and whistles. They add a layer of personality and create a sense of community among Tesla owners, almost like a secret society.
Okay, but what about this Mars rover mode? This Hot Cars article mentions it, but it doesn't really explain what it does. Some people on X are saying it might actually simulate driving on Mars, like adjusting the suspension for a rougher ride, maybe even changing the display to look like the Martian surface. Is there any truth to that?
Hmm. It's difficult to say for sure. Tesla hasn't officially confirmed any of the details, but the speculation itself is fascinating, don't you think? It shows how much people are willing to dig to find these hidden gems, and it speaks to that sense of discovery that Tesla cultivates so well. What about you? What do you find most intriguing about Mars rover mode?
Honestly, I love that Tesla is playing with this idea of space exploration, even if it's just a simulated experience.
Hmm.
It taps into that childhood wonder, and it fits with their overall image of pushing boundaries, thinking outside the box. But let's not get too distracted by Martian daydreams here. We've got a lot more ground to cover. Can we talk about full self-driving for a second? This Barron's article from January claims that Tesla invested $4 billion in Nvidia chips, specifically for FSD development. Is that even real?
It is real, and it's a significant investment. It suggests that Tesla is serious about cracking the code of autonomous driving, even if it means taking on a huge financial risk.
Wow, it makes you wonder what they're working on behind closed doors that would warrant that kind of spending. And,
Yeah.
and speaking of secrets, there's all these rumors floating around X about Tesla having some secret software optimizations that are giving them an edge in AI.
Hmm.
Is that just hype, or could there be some truth to it?
It's certainly possible. Tesla is known for its innovative software,
Yeah.
and they're constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI. They might have discovered some unique approaches to machine learning that are giving them a competitive advantage.
Hmm. Okay. I'm sensing a theme here. Secret features, secret optimizations, secret everything.
Yeah.
But let's move on to something a little less mysterious, at least on the surface. The Optimus robot. Now, I've seen those videos on notateslab.com of Optimus folding clothes, doing other household chores, which is pretty cool. But is that really all there is to it, or is Tesla planning something bigger with Optimus?
There's a lot of speculation on X about Optimus's true potential. Some think it could be a game changer for manufacturing and logistics, automating tasks that are currently too dangerous or repetitive for humans. Others believe it could have applications in healthcare, elder care, even space exploration.
Okay, those are some pretty big possibilities. But it's hard to know what's realistic and what's just science fiction at this point. Do you think Tesla is intentionally keeping Optimus's full potential under wraps?
Well, they've certainly created a lot of buzz by releasing these tantalizing glimpses of what Optimus can do. It's possible that they're strategically holding back information to to build anticipation, to manage market expectations. Remember, Tesla is as much a media company as it is a car company.
Good point. They know how to keep people guessing and generate excitement for their products, but all this innovation has to cost a fortune. So how is Tesla managing to stay afloat, let alone thrive in such a competitive industry? This Barron's article from January mentions something called vertical integration as a key factor in Tesla's financial resilience.
Vertical integration means that Tesla controls more of its supply chain than most car manufacturers. They build their own batteries, their own chips, even their own charging stations. This gives them more control over costs and production, and it allows them to adapt more quickly to changes in the market.
Okay, I'm starting to understand it. So it's not just about building a great car. It's about building the entire ecosystem around that car.
Yeah.
But how does that translate into actual financial stability? I mean, they've had their share of ups and downs, haven't they?
They have, but their recent stock performance, a 30% increase in 2025 alone, suggests that investors are confident in their long-term strategy.
That's impressive. But I've also seen some posts on X about production delays and customer service issues. How does that fit into the picture? Are they growing too fast for their own good?
That's a valid question. Tesla is a company that's constantly pushing the limits, and sometimes that can lead to growing pains. But it's also worth noting that they're incredibly ambitious and have a loyal customer base.
Okay, so maybe those delays are just a sign that they're not willing to compromise on quality, or maybe, just maybe, they're strategically holding back information to manage market expectations.
Perhaps. It's hard to say for sure. But one thing is clear, Tesla is playing a different game than most car companies. They're not just focused on quarterly profits. They're building for the future.
All right, I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. They're not just a car company. They're a tech company, a manufacturing company, and an energy company all rolled into one. But where does it all lead? What's the ultimate goal here?
That's a question we'll explore in more depth in the next segment. But I think it's safe to say that Tesla is not just building cars. They're building a vision of the future.
Welcome back. We've spent the first part of this deep dive looking at some of Tesla's, hidden secrets, and it's clear they're not just building cars. They're building an ecosystem.
That's a great way to put it, an ecosystem. It's like they're creating their own world with its own rules and its own possibilities.
Exactly. And one of the most intriguing aspects of this ecosystem is their focus on artificial intelligence and robotics. It's not just about, making cars that it can drive themselves. It's about creating machines that can learn, adapt, and even, interact with us on a human level.
This is where things start to get really interesting for me. We've touched on full self-driving and the Optimus robot, but I want to go deeper. What's the bigger picture here? What's Tesla's end game with all of this? Well, let's go back to that Barron's article about the $4 billion Nvidia chip investment. That's a huge commitment to AI development, and it suggests that Tesla sees AI as the key to unlocking a whole new level of functionality and capability.
Okay, so they're not just building smarter cars. They're building a foundation for a future where AI is integrated into every aspect of our lives.
Precisely, and that's where Optimus comes in. Think about it. If Tesla can create a robot that can learn and perform a wide range of tasks, the possibilities are almost limitless.
You're saying Optimus is more than just a cool gadget. It's a potential game changer for how we live and work.
Exactly. Imagine a world where robots can handle all the tedious and dangerous jobs, freeing up humans to focus on more creative and fulfilling pursuits.
Okay, I can see where you're going with this, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Right now, Optimus is still in its early stages of development. There's a lot of work to be done before we see, robots taking over the world.
Of course. But the progress Tesla has made in just a few short years is remarkable. Remember that No Tense Lab article with the videos of Optimus folding clothes? That's just a glimpse of what's to come.
And then there are all those rumors on X about Tesla's secret software optimizations. What if they've made breakthroughs in AI that we don't even know about yet?
That's certainly a possibility. Tesla is notoriously secretive about their research and development. They could be sitting on some groundbreaking technology that will completely change the game.
This is all very exciting, but it also raises some important questions. If Tesla is successful in creating this AI-powered future, what are the implications for society as a whole?
That's a crucial point. We need to be having these conversations now before these technologies become so advanced that we can't control them.
Like what happens to jobs if robots can do everything humans can do? And what about the ethical implications of creating machines that can think and act for themselves?
Yeah. Those are all valid concerns, and there are no easy answers. But I think it's important to remember that technology is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or for evil.
So it's up to us to ensure that these powerful technologies are used responsibly and for the benefit of all humankind.
Exactly. We need to be thinking about the long-term consequences of these innovations, and we need to be proactive in shaping the future we want to create.
Okay, I'm definitely feeling a sense of urgency here, but let's not get bogged down in doom and gloom. There's a lot of potential for good here too.
Absolutely. Imagine a world where AI can help us solve some of the world's, most pressing problems like climate change, poverty, and disease.
Now that's a future I can get behind.
Yeah.
But how do we get from where we are now to that utopian vision?
It's going to take a lot of hard work, collaboration, and open-mindedness. We need to break down silos between disciplines, and we need to be willing to challenge our assumptions about what's possible.
And we need to be mindful of the potential pitfalls along the way, right?
Of course, we need to be aware of the risks of AI bias, job displacement, and the concentration of power in the hands of a few.
So it's a balancing act between embracing the potential of AI and mitigating its potential dangers.
Exactly, and it's a balancing act that we all need to be a part of.
This conversation has really opened my eyes to the complexity of this issue, but it's also given me a sense of hope.
That's what I was hoping for. Because at the end of the day, the future is not something that happens to us. It's something we create.
Well said. But before we get too philosophical, let's bring it back to Tesla. We've talked a lot about their technology and their vision, but what about their business model? How do they plan to make all of this profitable?
That's an interesting question, and one that we'll explore in more detail in the next segment.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Because if Tesla can crack the code on making AI and robotics commercially viable, it could change the world as we know it. Welcome back to the deep dive. We've spent this episode exploring some of Tesla's hidden secrets, from those, fun Easter eggs in their cars to their massive investments in AI and robotics. And that kind of got me thinking, how does all this actually translate into a sustainable business? Are they really just focused on building the future? Or is there a solid financial plan behind all this innovation?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's one that a lot of, analysts and investors are trying to figure out. Remember that 30% stock increase we talked about earlier? That shows a lot of confidence in Tesla's long-term vision, but it also puts pressure on them to deliver. So how does Tesla plan to turn these, futuristic technologies into profit?
Well, it seems like they're taking a multi-pronged approach.
Okay, I'm all ears. Give me the breakdown.
First, let's not forget their core business,
Yep.
cars. Even with all the buzz about AI and robots, Tesla is still selling a lot of vehicles.
Yeah.
And they're consistently ranked among the top-selling luxury brands. So
Yeah.
that steady revenue stream is crucial for funding their more ambitious projects.
Right. They got to keep the lights on somehow. But I'm guessing they're not just relying on car sales to fund a robot revolution. What else is in their playbook? Well, remember that Barron's article about about vertical integration. That's a big part of their strategy. By controlling more of their supply chain, they can reduce costs and increase efficiency, which ultimately boosts their profits.
Okay, so they're playing the long game, building a more, resilient and self-sufficient business model.
Yeah.
But how does that tie into AI and robotics?
That's where things get really interesting because those technologies have the potential to create entirely new revenue streams. Think about it. If Tesla perfects full self-driving, they could launch a massive robotaxi network. Imagine your car could be out there earning money for you while you're at work or even asleep.
Whoa, that's taking the gig economy to a whole new level. But is that realistic? I mean, is anyone really going to trust a robot taxi?
Well, public perception is definitely a hurdle, but Tesla is already making progress in building trust with its autopilot system. And as the technology improves and regulations catch up, I think robotaxis could become a viable option for many people.
Okay, I'll admit that's a pretty compelling vision. But what about Optimus? How does a humanoid robot fit into all of this?
Optimus is more of a long-term play, but the potential is huge. Imagine factories, warehouses, even homes where robots are doing the heavy lifting, the dangerous tasks, and the repetitive chores.
That sounds like a dream come true for a lot of people, but also a nightmare for anyone whose job could be could be replaced by a robot.
That's the double-edged sword of automation, and it's a conversation we need to be having as a society. But I think Tesla sees Optimus as more of a collaborator than a replacement, a way to augment human capabilities and free us up to focus on more, meaningful work.
Okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. Tesla is not just building, cool gadgets. They're trying to build a whole new way of life, one where AI and robotics are seamlessly integrated into our everyday existence.
Exactly. And that's what makes Tesla so fascinating. They're not just disrupting industries, they're disrupting our very conception of what's possible.
Well, I have to say, you've given me a lot to think about.
Yeah.
It's exciting. It's a little bit scary, but it's definitely not boring.
And that's the beauty of it. The future's uncertain, but it's also full of possibilities.
And speaking of possibilities, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, but I have a feeling we've only scratched the surface. What do you think is Tesla's biggest secret? The thing that's going to blow everyone's minds in the years to come?
If I knew that, I'd be a very rich person. But honestly, I think Tesla's biggest secret is their willingness to dream big, to challenge conventional wisdom, and to never stop innovating.
Well said. And that's a valuable lesson for all of us, whether we're Tesla enthusiasts or just, curious about the future. It's important to stay open-minded, to embrace change and to never stop learning.
Exactly. The world is changing faster than ever before, and those who are willing to adapt and evolve will be the ones who shape the future.
Well, on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive. But remember, this is just the beginning of your exploration. Keep digging, keep questioning, and keep your eyes on the horizon.
Because the future is out there, waiting to be discovered.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. We'll be back soon with another fascinating topic and a whole new set of sources to explore. Until then, stay curious.